You did everything right. You were kind, respectful, available. You listened to her problems, supported her decisions, made her laugh. You were the perfect gentleman. And then she hit you with those words that shatter everything. You're such a great friend, or worse, I wish I could find a guy like you, and you're standing there. Thinking, I am a guy like me, I'm right here. So what happened? Why did you end up in the friend zone while she's chasing guys who treat her like an option? If you are new here, my name is Amelia Torres and I welcome you to my YouTube channel where I talk about relationship, men's dating, and how you can improve your overall personality in order to pursue meaningful relationships. So today I'm breaking down the brutal truth about why women friendzone men, and I promise you by the end of this video you'll never make these mistakes again. But I need you to stay with me because this is going to sting a little. Truth always does. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me if you've ever been friend-zoned, because understanding why this happens is the first step to making sure it never happens again. Alright, let's dive in. Here's the hard truth most men don't want to hear. She didn't friendzone you because you were too nice. She friendzoned you because you never gave her a reason to see you as anything else. Let me explain. From the moment you met her, you treated her like a friend. You talked to her like a friend. You acted like a friend. So guess what category she put you in? A friend, not potential lover. Not boyfriend material, just a friend. And once you're in that category, it's almost impossible to get out. Because in her mind, you've already shown her who you are, and who you showed her was someone safe, comfortable, and completely non-sexual. Now, I know what you're thinking. You were trying to be respectful. You didn't want to come off as creepy or aggressive, and that's exactly where you went wrong, because there's a massive difference between being respectful and being invisible. There's a difference between not being creepy and having zero sexual presence, and most men who end up in the friend zone fall into this trap. They remove all sexuality from their interactions because they're terrified of making her uncomfortable. But here's what happens. When you remove all sexual tension, all flirtation, all masculine energy from your interactions, she doesn't feel attraction. She feels comfort, and comfort doesn't create desire. Comfort creates friendship. Think about the guys she does chase. The ones she gets excited about, the ones she texts back immediately, the ones she dresses up for. Are they treating her like a delicate flower who might break if they show interest? No, they're making their intentions clear from the start. They're flirting, they're teasing, they're creating tension, they're being playful, confident, and unapologetically interested. And that creates attraction, because attraction isn't about being the nicest guy, it's about creating a feeling. And the feeling you created was, this guy is safe, non-threatening, and has zero romantic interest in me. So she responded accordingly. Let me paint you a picture. You meet a woman you like. She's beautiful, fun, easy to talk to. So you start spending time with her, but you never make a move. You never flirt, you never touch her in a way that signals romantic interest. Instead, you listen to her talk about her problems. You give her advice. You're there when she needs emotional support. You become her therapist, her cheerleader, her emotional crutch. And all the while, you're hoping that one day, she'll wake up and realize how amazing you are, that she'll see all the effort you've been putting in and fall for you. But that day never comes. Because in her mind, you're not a romantic option. You're her friend, the guy who makes her feel good about herself but doesn't make her feel anything else. Here's the brutal reality. Women don't fall in love with men who act like friends. They fall in love with men who make them feel something. There should be excitement, curiosity, desire, challenge, and you gave her none of that. You gave her comfort and validation. And while those things are nice, they don't create attraction. They create dependency. She depends on you for emotional support, but she doesn't desire you. She values you as a friend, but she doesn't see you as a lover. And that's the friend zone in a nutshell. You're valuable, but not in the way you want to be. Let's talk about the specific reasons women friendzone men. Because once you understand these, you can avoid them completely. Reason number 1, you never made your intentions clear. This is the biggest mistake men make. They meet a woman they're interested in, and instead of showing romantic interest, they pretend to just want friendship. They think that if they become her friend first, eventually she'll develop feelings for them. But that's not how attraction works. Attraction is either there from the start or it's not. And if you approach her as a friend, she's going to see you as a friend. Period. Women are not stupid. They can tell when a guy is interested in them. But if you never make a move, if you never flirt, if you never ask her out on a date, she's going to assume one of two things. Either you're not interested in her romantically, or you're too scared to do anything about it, and neither of those options is attractive, so she accepts the friendship because it's safe and comfortable. And you accept it because you're hoping it will lead somewhere, but it won't, because you've already established the dynamic. You're the friend, not the guy she wants to kiss, not the guy she fantasizes about, just a friend. Here's what you should have done. From the first interaction, you should have made your interest clear. Not by confessing your feelings or pouring your heart out, but by flirting, by creating playful tension, by touching her arm when you laugh, by looking at her in a way that says, I'm interested in you, by asking her out on an actual date, not a vague, let's hang out sometime. When you make your intentions clear from the start, you give her the opportunity to either reciprocate or reject. And yes, rejection stings. But it's better than spending months in the friend zone, hoping she'll magically see you differently, because she won't. Reason number 2, you acted like you had no other options. One of the fastest ways to kill attraction is to act desperate. And when you make a woman the center of your world before she's even your girlfriend, you're communicating desperation. You're telling her, I have nothing else going on in my life. You're my only option, and that's deeply unattractive. Because women are attracted to men who are wanted by others, men who have purpose, ambition, and options, not men who rearrange their entire life just to be available for her. Think about it. If you're always free, always available, always ready to drop everything for her, what does that say? It says you have no life outside of her. It says you're waiting around for her to give you attention, and that creates the opposite of attraction. It creates pity. She might appreciate your availability, but she doesn't respect it, and without respect, there's no attraction. Here's what high-value men do. They have their own lives. They have goals they're working toward. They have hobbies, friends, interests. And when a woman enters their world, she's an addition, not the entire focus. That creates intrigue. That creates value. Because now she's thinking, this guy has options. He's not desperate for my attention. I need to earn his time, and that shift changes everything. So if you've been friend-zoned, ask yourself, did you make her feel like she was one of many options? Or did you make her feel like she was your only option? Because if it's the latter, you've already lost. Women don't want to be the only option, they want to be the chosen option, and there's a big difference. Reason number 3, you waited too long to make a move. There's a window of opportunity in every interaction with a woman. A brief period where she's open to romance, where attraction is building, where she's wondering if you're going to do something. And if you don't act during that window, it closes, and once it closes, you're locked into the friend category. I've seen this happen countless times. A guy meets a woman, there's chemistry, there's flirtation, there's potential, but instead of making a move, he waits. He overthinks. He tells himself he needs to get to know her better first. He doesn't want to ruin the friendship. He's waiting for the perfect moment. And while he's waiting, the attraction dies, the tension fades, the window closes. And now, when he finally tries to make a move weeks or months later, she's confused. Because in her mind, he had his chance and didn't take it. So clearly, he wasn't that interested. Or worse, now she sees him as a friend, and the idea of being romantic with him feels weird. Here's the reality. The perfect moment doesn't exist. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll wait forever. And in the meantime, she'll move on. She'll meet someone else who doesn't hesitate, someone who sees what he wants and goes for it, and you'll be left in the friend zone, wondering what went wrong. So if you feel attraction, if there's chemistry, don't wait. Act on it, make a move, ask her out, create the opportunity for romance, because if you don't, someone else will. Reason number 4, you became her emotional support system without any reciprocity. This is a big one. A lot of men end up in the friend zone because they become a woman's therapist. She vents to you about her problems. She tells you about her bad dates. She cries to you about her ex and you listen. You comfort, you give advice. Because you think that's what she needs. You think that if you show her how caring and understanding you are, she'll eventually see your value and fall for you. But that's not what happens. What happens is she starts seeing you as her emotional support system. Not as a romantic partner. Not as someone she's attracted to. But as the guy who makes her feel better when she's sad. And here's the worst part. While you're playing therapist, she's out dating other guys. Guys who aren't listening to her problems. Guys who aren't trying to fix her life. Guys who are creating excitement, tension, and attraction. And when those relationships inevitably blow up, she comes back to you. Because you're safe, you're reliable, you're the emotional safety net. But you're not the guy she wants. You're the guy she uses to feel better until the next guy comes along. Here's what you need to understand. Emotional intimacy without romantic or sexual tension doesn't create attraction. It creates dependency. She depends on you emotionally, but she doesn't desire you physically. And that's the friend zone. So stop being her therapist. Stop solving all her problems. Stop being the shoulder she cries on. Because the more you play that role, the more you cement yourself in the friend category, and trust me, once you're there, it's almost impossible to escape. Reason number 5, you never created sexual tension. This is the most overlooked reason men get friend-zoned. Sexual tension is the spark that turns friendship into attraction. It's the playful teasing, the lingering eye contact, the light touch on the arm, the flirtatious banter. It's the energy that says, I'm interested in you as more than a friend, and if you never create that tension, she'll never see you as more than a friend. It's that simple. A lot of men are terrified of creating sexual tension because they don't want to be seen as creepy or inappropriate, so they play it safe. They keep everything platonic. They avoid any behavior that could be interpreted as romantic interest. And in doing so, they kill any chance of attraction, because attraction thrives on tension, on the push and pull, on the uncertainty of, does he like me? Or is this going somewhere? And when you remove all of that and keep everything safe and predictable, there's no spark, there's no excitement, there's just comfort, and comfort doesn't make her want to kiss you. It makes her want to tell you about the guy she does want to kiss. So here's what you need to do. Start creating tension. Tease her playfully. Hold eye contact a little longer than normal. Touch her in appropriate but intentional ways. Flirt, be playful. Show her that you're not just another nice guy who's content being her friend, but a man who's interested in her as a woman, and that shift in energy changes everything. Because now she's not just comfortable around you, she's intrigued, she's wondering where this is going, and that's when attraction starts to build. So let's wrap this up. If you've been friend-zoned, it's not because you were too nice, it's because you acted like a friend instead of a lover. You never made your intentions clear. You acted like you had no other options. You waited too long to make a move. You became her emotional crutch without any reciprocity. And you never created sexual tension. Those are the reasons. And now that you know them, you can avoid them, because the friend zone isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create through your actions or lack thereof. So moving forward, be intentional. Make your interest clear from the start. Maintain your own life and options. Act quickly when you feel chemistry. Don't become her therapist. And for the love of everything, create some tension. Because if you do those things, you'll never end up in the friend zone again. You'll be the guy she's excited about, the guy she's thinking about, the guy she wants, and that's where you deserve to be. Alright, that's it for today. If this video hit home, smash that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and drop a comment telling me which reason resonated most with you. And remember, understanding the game is the first step to winning it. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at ameliam.torres. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.